Sketchy, Big Nando, Ishki.
I've been on my grind, I've been on my shine, I'm on your mind. Yeah, I had to climb. Every day we're trying to, it's my time. I've been in my bag.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mike Ramirez. That's my brother and co-host, Big Nando, and we're the MMA Bros. We're back in full effect after a great weekend of fights once again. I mean, UFC, of course, never lets us down. There's, of course, other promotions that had great stuff. We've been appreciative of all the, likes, subscribes, the comments, everything you guys have been doing, the subscriptions, everything you guys have been doing. Keep it up. Give us your opinions. Let us know what you think won. Let us know what you like, what you guys want us to talk about more. And of course, we'll do it. It is the MMA Bros. We're in full effect. But of course, if you've been following along, first episode, second episode, everybody knows it's time to talk about the people that took losses yesterday. Jessica Andrade and Big Nando. They're in the same boat. Okay. Let's just start at UFC Vegas 69 right at the top here. What a performance. This was amazing. But before we even start at the top, guys, everybody, let's go spam Big Nando. Big Nando on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube comments. And let's spam him because he was way off. He was dead wrong in his opinion. And we're going to make sure he knows about that, guys. Aaron Blanchfield, I call Aaron Blanchfield in 1. I was a little bit off. It was like 1.1, right? So, everything is meant to happen for a reason. But right at the top of UFC Big 69, what a phenomenal performance, and a definitely, at least to me, was a statement title contender win. I think, how she went out there and just went right at Andrade and didn't care what was going to happen. I really just know that every fight that I see Blanchfield fighting, she has this game plan and she just sticks to it no matter what, no matter with the little adversity, no matter, when she was getting tagged up a couple punches, she was giving them right back. She just kept maintaining composure. It was really amazing to see, the fight of a warrior, the spirit of a warrior, and seeing obviously a full mixed martial artist, keeping her at bay with her punches, with her, with her jab. Then of course she was, looking to lock her hands the whole time. Once she pushed her to the fence, they were quick grappling exchange, and then got it to the ground. And of course she landed got her in the rear naked choke, which she slipped in. I mean, that was the nicest, fastest slip in I've seen in a while. Where she got on her back and just slipped it in the rear naked choke. Easy. It was really nice, and Andrade didn't really show much. Just she couldn't really do much in that situation. Tapped right away. But overall, what a great performance. She got the performance of the night with the $50K bonus, and just congratulations once again to Aaron Blanchfield, now 11-1, and for sure she was number 10. Ranked flyweight before the fight. Let's do some Sean O'Malley stuff and go 10-1. We need her to be number 1 ranked in the division come Tuesday in the UFC rankings. And I just can't wait to see what's next for her, and hopefully it's a title bout versus the winner versus Shevchenko and Grasso.
Wow, a number 1 rank, and I think that might do a number 2 or 3, but a number 1 would be nice. I mean, she is very, very dominant, especially against anybody she fought with. I mean, last night was crazy. I mean, I even texted you during the first round, because the first round was bananas. You said she was getting tagged up. Aaron was getting rocked. She was eating them too. She was having a tough first round. I mean, I think Jessica Andrade, she stopped her like 4 times with the takedowns. So, I mean, she tried over and over, and it looked for a while that they were going to have a stand-up war for these whole 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying? With Jessica Andrade, how she just kept stopping it. She looked very strong. But Jessica looked like she was getting distracted and throwing off her game plan in the first round. She just started letting loose. And when she started letting loose, throwing all those power punches, she got tired right away. You could just see it. And I think after that first round and her feeling the punches of Aaron Blanchfield coming back too, because that girl was not letting down.
Right.
She was getting rocked, boom, boom, boom. I mean, even the first maybe 5 seconds of the fight, boom, took one. And I was like, oh, man, is she going to be able to take these? She ain't took these before. I don't know if I've seen her take these before. She felt Molly McCain's power and a few other UFC women's fighters' power, but nothing like what Jessica Andrade was just bringing to this fight. That first round was incredible. Second round, Aaron, man, she's looking like she could do it, huh? She's looking like she's ready for the champ now.
Yeah, she's looking really impressive.
you know, we do have Valentina Shevchenko. She's fighting Grasso or whatever, but you know, a lot of us think that Valentina's gonna win. So say that Valentina does win, I mean that's a great matchup. She called it out after the fight. Uh, what do you think about that matchup? Just the Aaron Blanchfield versus Valentina Shevchenko, because she absolutely ran through Jessica Andrade. It was just
Honestly,
easily.
honestly, I can see it going a lot like Talia Santos fight versus Valentina Shevchenko, which is, obviously to me at least, I think Talia Santos won that fight versus the Bullet. I kind of see it going like that. I mean, it's hard to see someone really finishing Valentina, but the ferocity, the game plan foul, the just she's Erin Blanchfield has been in wrestling and jiu-jitsu tournaments since she was a kid, so you could just tell she's built for this, so she's different. She's young, she's hungry, so I can definitely see her, dethroning her. Obviously, we still have to see what happens March 4th in Vegas. If Valentina retains, holds on to and defends her belt again versus Grasso, because you never know. That could be a mix-up. Something crazy can happen there. It could be a rematch. You never know what can happen.
Grasso's just a tough competitor, yeah.
Yeah, so you just
Anything
never know what
can happen any given night.
But at the end of the day, Jessica Andrade was coming off a week notice. I mean, she probably was, in her camp, and you didn't have much time to game plan or anything like that. She just really probably did want to, go balls to the wall, go all out in the first round, and maybe even second round, and just see what she can do. She maybe didn't know or even think she can maybe last 5 rounds, at least to the full potential, like she normally does without a full camp.
Yeah.
But everything was good, but on both sides, everybody was, spirit, really competitive, and everything was fun. But I just really didn't like how Andrade kept talking about, oh, I can't wait to, beat Blanchfield, and then I'm gonna fight Wiley Zhang. And she said that multiple times, and I'm just like, why is she targeting Zhang? That doesn't even make sense to me. And then on top of that, just like, wouldn't you be, so I don't know. I just was like, that's a different, I'm not sure what she was really going for after that, but you did that, and you learned a lesson, because Blanchfield is here to stay. She is a force to be reckoned with at just 23 years old, going on almost 3 years now. Actually, she's been in the promotion, so she's definitely just ready for anything, and I really can't see what's next for her. And hopefully she's definitely fighting for a title next. That's what we really want to see.
I'm pretty sure they'll give it to her.
Yeah, 100%. And everything started, because we're gonna cover the main card. We'll just go through it real quick. Everything on the main card was decisions, except of course Aaron Blanchfield. Finish. So everything, it was a somewhat of a slow card, but there's still exciting stuff in it. Which led to the opener of the main card, Jim Miller versus Alex Hernandez. I mean, that was a great fight.
That fight was crazy.
Yeah, Alex Hernandez was really doing really well. But then he was fighting for his life the last minute. Jim Miller, showed what a veteran was, or what it is, and he it's just amazing, his grit and how he can still be here after so many years. He's talking about fighting on UFC 300.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. That dude showed his balls last night. That
was awesome. But Alexander Hernandez, basically, he held on to take the decision win on that one. And then just going to the right in the next fight, William Knight lost to Marcin Prachinio, but that was he kept getting kicked so much. William Knight, he looks like a tank in there, but everybody,
he wasn't even moving at all. He just
Paul Felder. I mean, don't quote me, but Paul Felder said something about where this is like the worst performance to try to get a win he's ever seen. Like, so I mean, it didn't really look good on that one, but at the same time, Marcin pulled out that decision win. Then Jamal Pogues beat Josh Parisian in the decision as well. And then the co-main event, which is both of our guys, Zach Puaga. So it's so hard to say his last name. Beat Jordan Wright, the Karate Kid, and we knew what he was going to do. We both, just knew he was going to, get him against the cage and just try to impose his will in the wrestling. And even after the fight, that's what he said he's going to do. He said that's what he's going to do in every fight from here on out. So even if you think it's quote unquote boring, he's winning. He's going to try to get wins, stack wins, like he said. And hopefully he does. And, I can see a lot of, good things for him in the light heavyweight division as well. So we'll see what's next for him. And then we'll segment right to what's coming next week, which is UFC Fight Night. Krylov versus Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Superman Spann. This is a great matchup. They're both, coming off. They both won 2 fights in a row, so it's going to be, obviously they both need a win to, stay where they're at. But we're both fighting to see who can, is going to get closer, or at least they're both right there to fight for the light heavyweight belt. Just because obviously, as everybody knows, since John Jones has left, I mean, the belt is switching hands, left and right.
Toss up, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Jamal Hill has that right now. So Jamal Hill is probably looking at this fight, saying what's going to happen, and who's going to impose their will, and who's going to have the right game plan, and basically who's going to be the better fighter, at least on that night. Nikita Krylov ranked number 6, Ryan Spann ranked number 8 at 21-7 his record, and Krylov is 29-9. These guys are. Ryan Spann's 6'5", Krylov's 6'3", so these guys are some big guys.
Yeah, for sure.
They're watching their fights. These guys are entertaining fighters. They have so much grit. They're stand-up fighters. These guys are gonna, go at it. I see this one being a first rounder. I honestly see this one being a first rounder, which a lot of their fights are like that, especially Ryan Spann. And I'm interested to see who's gonna, get the jump. On this one, I am leaning towards Ryan Spann.
Same here.
Just a little bit, not too much, but at the same time, I am giving him the edge for a few different reasons. I do like his footwork a little bit better, and I do think he has a little bit stand-up boxing just a little bit better, and I think that's obviously what's going to take place. So I do see, something like in that realm happening. What do you see in? I
see the same. I like Spann for the win. I really like Krylov too. I think he's a super tough fighter. He's very aggressive. He's nice. I just think Ryan Spann is a little more aggressive, a little more powerful. I think that his size will be the difference. I actually think his aggressiveness will be the difference because it's almost. I think it could be a first or second rounder as well. Even the first, because of how these guys just standing there and striking. They're not backing off. They're just really getting in there. And once they start throwing, I think Ryan Spann will be a little bit more aggressive, and we'll get a KO or a TKO. But we definitely can't count Krylov out. He's a very, very tough competitor. He went all the rounds with Ankalaev, and that was a close fight too. So I mean, we could see this go all the rounds as well anytime, even though we both don't think that's gonna happen.
Right, and he did TKO. Well, he uppercutted Gustafsson, basically almost knocked him out and TKO'd him. So that was a really nice win for him as well. And so. And he was getting pushed against the fence, and he was getting out of position. So you see, what he can do. He's just, you're kind of just seeing in this fight, it's going to be definitely the guy that can really impose his will, or just really just stick to the game plan the best, and he's got the first foot forward. And the co-main event of this one, I'm really, really excited for in the UFC Fight Night, is Andre Muniz, which is 23-4, ranked number 11, versus Brendan Allen, 20-5. Both black belts, of course. Andre Muniz is a 3rd degree black belt. They're the co-main event for the middleweights. This is it's going to be a very interesting fight. Brazilian versus American. I think, they're both obviously both grapplers. They're both, wrestlers. So it's probably going to take a lot of place in the clinch and against the fence and on the ground. But you never know, because Brendan Allen has been trying to stand up and stand up. Certain ones, and sometimes Andre Muniz does the same thing. So it really can be, this overall mixed martial artist fight, like, everyone's expecting, or can, play on the feet, or can play on the defense. This was a wild one to really call, because it really could play out anywhere, and then it's going to be, whose strengths cater most to the certain position they're at, whether who gets on top first, who gets on somebody's back first. Because Andre Muniz, he loves taking people's back. So I'm really, interested to see who's able to, take off first. Because I really think whoever starts the lead and takes, charge, I think is probably going to win this fight. And I'm probably leaning towards Brendan Allen, just because I think Andre Muniz might actually be an overall better fighter. But I think the evolution of Brendan Allen just leveling up and just getting even better footwork, learning from his losses, and just knowing his range. And I just think he has the tools to get the W. Of course, Andre Muniz comes out faster. He starts out faster. Brandon Allen starts off a little slower. So once again, it is going to come. I think it's going to come down to who takes charge first. I don't think this is going to, be last all 3 rounds, but it can. It just for sure.
It definitely can.
Yeah.
I got Andre Muniz winning the fight actually.
Yeah. I mean, it could definitely go either way. I think personally, Brandon Allen gets a stop late. What do you got? What do you think?
I think if Brandon Allen doesn't get a early stoppage, I think I'd give it to Muniz. I think I'd give the advantage to Muniz. I think his grappling and his jiu-jitsu is better. He's constantly trying to take somebody down. Like you said, Allen has almost become a stand-up fighter where, he's not always just trying to take somebody down. But Muniz is almost the opposite. He might start off with the kicks and the striking and stuff like that, but he's always real forceful and aggressive of trying to take the takedown, trying to get on the bag. And I think if we go to the later rounds, he gets Allen tired and possibly even gets the submission. So I see Muniz actually winning this fight because Allen has to win it early. And I think if he puts the pressure on Muniz early, I think Muniz can, handle him enough in that situation to control him to get into the later rounds. So I think it's going to be a very tough fight. I can't wait to see this fight. It's going to be crazy. Brandon Allen has to do something early.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. It could be either way. That's why I said this one is going to be very interesting as well, just because you don't know if they're going to try to keep it on their feet, because obviously they're both really good, black belts, and they're good on the ground, or if they're just going to, just stick to what they're best at, and it's like who's better on the ground, then obviously it's going to take place. So who gets somebody's back first, so who can control the dominant position. So this one was very interesting as well. Has a couple good fights on the prelims as well. So everybody look out for that fight card, UFC.
All right, that's gonna be a good one.
Saturday. And now we're rolling into Bellator, February 25th as well, next Saturday. Yaroslav Amosov, undefeated 26-0 versus Logan Storley, 15-1. And of course, his one loss is to the champion, Yaroslav Amosov. And this is part 2. They did fight 2 years ago and for the belt, and then Yaroslav did take that decision win over him. Yaroslav Amosov, this is an amazing story. This is an amazing guy, Ukrainian. He hasn't fought in 2 years, and he's still a champion. People are like, "What, was he injured? What's going on there? What's the story?" This guy, when is an Ukrainian. So when Ukraine went to war last year, he's supposed to fight Michael Venom Page, I think May 16th in London.
Oh, wow.
And he pulled out to fight for his country, Ukraine, and defend his city, when obviously against Russia. So, I mean, it was very valiant. He was there, with Lomachenko. Lomachenko obviously stopped boxing as well and went to Ukraine to, fight for his country. I mean, you see, they're both doing interviews. I mean, especially Yaroslav is doing interviews where he's saying some of his training partners have died, his friends have died in the war. I mean, there's a lot of casualties, a lot of crazy stuff happening there. And to be undefeated, to be 26-0 still, to be coming off a 2-year layoff, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, after being off for 2 years, because Storley's was in there somewhat recently, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I mean, Yaroslav was a 4-time Sambo champion. So this guy is 26-0. He's been in Bellator
and that's tough. Them guys are tough in that Sambo. They're crazy over there.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm wondering, because Logan Storley is a really, really good wrestler. I'm wondering what kind of game plan Storley has for this one to change what happened 2 years ago when they fought, or 2.5, 3 years ago now. Because this one's very interesting as well, because once again, there's so many factors. He was out for a couple of years. The champion was out for a couple of years. Yeah. Now you're defending it against somebody that's you already fought before, but at the same time, it's a totally different fight. And guess what? He's only lost one time, and it was versus you, and he's not losing it, since then. And on top of that, he's looking good too, and he knows how to win. So in this fight, I really see Storley just trying to, impose his will and try to push him against the fence and try to get on his back or try to throw him down or try to bring him down any way possible. But man, seeing the valiant effort of how Amosov fights and how he obviously undefeated, 26-0. It's hard to say that Storley is gonna be able to change up what he couldn't do a couple years ago. But at the same time, he does have octagon rust as far as Yaroslav does. So it's hard to say what's gonna happen. But I probably would lean towards the champion Yaroslav just because he's just an amazing fighter. I mean, he's good everywhere, and I mean. So these Sambo guys, like you said, man, these guys are no joke. I mean, these guys know how to fight, and it's just they know how to win.
Yeah, that's Khabib and Islam. That's all their type of fighting. So you already know that type is like it's constant, it's aggressive, it's tiring.
Yeah. So Storley basically fought MVP on the same card that Yaroslav was supposed to defend his title. So they fought for the interim belt, and Storley won it. So that's obviously another reason why he's going to be fighting. He fought after that, but that's another reason he's obviously going to be fighting for the to unify the belt because he just won the interim belt. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a very interesting fight. I'm really excited about that one. A lot of people have been asking me to, they're asking us to just, hey, you guys, just talk about the UFC only. UFC guys. This is MMA Bros. We watch a lot of different organizations. Of course, we haven't bring up a few yet, but a couple of them haven't had any cards yet. So everything's coming up, but we'll be covering everything. That's why we're telling you guys, just, leave us comments, let us know your opinions, let us know what you want us to talk about. Go in depth about prelims, early prelims, post fights, breakdowns. Let us know what you guys want, guys. As well as we're always going to be, covering UFC, Bellator, PFL, things like that. Just because,
one championship. You got bare knuckle box, bare knuckle now too.
So there's a lot of things. So guys, keep up. We love everything. We love all the feedback. Keep giving us a thumbs up and subscribe, comment, like all that, and that'll lead us to our last and final segment. Too much sauce. So Too Much Sauce is the best knockouts, the best submission. It could be the best, game-winning buzzer beater. It could be the best touchdown, or it could be just the, best feel-good moment of the week. So once again, this is a weekly show. What do you got? What do you got as your Too Much Sauce for this week, Big Nando?
For this week's episode of Too Much Sauce, segment of Too Much Sauce, let me make sure I'm saying this guy's name right. Marcin Pacino versus William Knight last night. This dude went crazy. He had, I believe it was 65 to 67 leg kicks last night. It was the most leg kicks in a 3-round fight in UFC history. I mean, we know William Knight didn't really give him nothing but a standing target, so I mean, he could just keep kicking over and over. But still, he did do the 60. He broke the record last night. It was incredible. You already know William Knight. He ain't gonna be walking for a couple months probably. For at least a good month, he might not be walking. He might have broke a bone or something in there. I mean, you could just see the pain in that leg and the stumbling around and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I got for Too Much Sauce. Marcin Pacino with that many leg kicks beat the UFC record for 3 rounds. For 3 rounds, I think they got somebody more for 5 rounds, but or a couple people more. But yeah, for the 3-round fight. Shout out to him, man. Yeah,
man. William Knight is just so top heavy. Like I was saying, when we briefly went over it, man, he's like a tank in there. But
yeah, he's huge.
Those are the type of fights that, unfortunately, UFC likes to cut fighters for those type of fights.
I was thinking that during the fight. Yeah, during the fight, I'm like, oh, they're going to cut this guy. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, so I don't, man.
I even heard some people saying, like, they're thinking about cutting him soon, so he just pretty much tanked on himself and had some people bet against him because I think William Knight was the favorite. So they're like, this guy put up his life savings and just bet on himself to lose, just go all the way around.
Hopefully not with all that gambling probe and investigations.
I know, right? I know. It's crazy.
Nobody's doing that. Yeah, that was a good choice. Those leg kicks were brutal.
I felt them.
My Too Much Sauce. We're going to the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. Mac McClung. Yes, sir. Slam dunk champion. I mean, this guy was amazing. I mean, he was doing things we haven't seen in the slam dunk contest. But even besides that, I mean, he's hitting all his dunks first try, and he was looking impressive.
He's cold. Yeah, he's cold.
He was flowing. You know, he was flowing. I mean, he has an amazing story. Obviously, he's been, you know, in the NBA, then the G League, but he was within the last 5 days, he went from the G League to the 76ers, you know, to winning the slam dunk contest with the NBA. Yeah. So now he got a signed shoe deal for Puma.
Yeah, I see. That's ridiculous.
That's an amazing story, and that's what, you know, these feel good moments are all about. You know, it's too much sauce is all about. It's about, you know, just highlighting even more, you know, these feel good stories and these. You know,
he had one of the sauciest weeks ever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in 5 days, all that happens. I mean,
that's crazy, man. That's lit.
I'm glad for the G League people because they are getting paid more and whatnot on a sliding scale, but it's still not, you know, crazy money or like, you know, the NBA money. So for him to get, you know, signed, you know, to the 76ers, hopefully he gets signed for the rest of the year, not a two-way. It's just an amazing story for him. Now he's in the same discussion, or at least talks and, you know, breaths as Michael Jordan and, you know, people that have won the slam dunk.
Blake Griffins and the Vince Carters and he did do some dunks we didn't see. When the one where he tapped it on the back, he jumped over them and hit the backboard and then the reverse slam on it. I was like, this guy. He's up for real. And I think he's only like 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching him since high school because he's been like a phenom on YouTube forever.
Yeah, I know for sure. Same here,
Yeah. So college, it was good too. So I'm still interested in it. Hopefully he can work his way. Just to, you know, even if it's not a starter, just, you know, rotation player at least. And I'm excited for his future. Good job, Mac McClung. Of course, that was awesome. So that is a too much sauce segment, of course. So that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be back, of course, next week. We appreciate you guys. We dropped, you know, our first episode about 8 days ago, and we dropped our second episode only about 3 or 4 days ago. And combined, we're almost at around 500 views. So, of course, we appreciate every single view, every single listener. Just keep commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, get your, you know, retweeting, put on your Instagram story, Snapchat story, Facebook story. I can keep going on, everything. We love you guys. It's Mike Ramirez. It's my brother and co-host, Big Nando, and we're the MMA Bros signing off. Sayonara. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. MMA Bros.
Okay, Yachi, Big Nando, let's get
I've been on my grind, I've been on my shine, I'm on your mind. Yeah, I had to climb. Every day we're trying, it's my time. I've been in my bag, watch me do my dance, I'm on your ass. Catch me popping tags, invested with this cash, I know they mad. I've been on my grind, I've been on my shine, I'm